Hey there, it's Faith Talk Live. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
She doesn't live on Tulsa time. She lives Texas time. There she is, Christy Conder. Christy, how are you?
I'm great. Now that I'm here, finally.
Hey, we just wanted to build up the suspense for a day. So, there you go. Yeah.
Christy is a comedian and also a wife and a mother. And we give you a pass. All Texans get a pass because Dan's a Texan.
Mm-hmm.
And like he mentioned to you before we went live, we have to have one Texan on a week.
Yep.
So
you can never have too many Texans or too much Whataburger all at once. Oh. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. It's all part of the contract. When you,
yes, it is.
Now I did read, if I'm not mistaken, you graduated from Baylor.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And Bears.
What's that?
Sick and Bears.
Home of Chip and Joanna Gaines, or at least one of them. I don't know if both of them went there, but
they actually both went there.
They both. Okay, there you
go.
After
After me, so.
Well.
How cool is that? But now you're in Nash Vegas, right? Aren't you in Nash Vegas? Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we wanted to catch up with. There's a personal friend of ours, and we love him to pieces. He said you got to have this girl on. Bonehampton, he's a legend. Tell us about the collision between you and Bone. How'd that happen?
We were at the Christian Comedy Association kind of yearly
soiree
event. Soiree.
Yeah.
And in part of that is you go into rooms and you get to test out different things that you're working on, and the veterans kind of come in and critique you and help you and help you write some stuff. And he was in one of those rooms, and I did a church joke, and he just kind of said that, I love that, and just kind of took me under his wing, and it's kind of been a mentor to me ever since. So I go out on the road with him sometimes, and it's just been a great, we have a good working kind of chemistry that helps us push each other. And he pushes me really well into good comedy.
And he's a good one to learn from. That guy is funny. I mean, every time we have him on, I'm in stitches. I get a good ab workout because of him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
we almost just say, okay, the mics are open, Bone, go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, definitely.
Christy Conder. Now, you were at CCA. How many years ago was that? Now, I did see a picture of you and some other mutual friends. I saw the O'Brien sisters, Kay Dodd, Leslie Norris Townsend, Rhonda Corey, and you were there. And was it all women, or were there men?
No, it's mixed, but I mean, it's a big group. It's a huge group. But I mean, we just it's just like a normal conference. Like we go and we share ideas, and we go to different classes, and we do, it's really a fun time. And then we laugh a lot, which is so very much fun. So it's that I've been going to about 6 or 7 years.
Well, Christy, tell us how you got into comedy, Christian comedy, but comedy in particular.
So I grew up in the church, but my parents really, we laughed a lot growing up too. And so I grew up listening to Mike Warnke and Isaac Airfreight, which was Dan Ruppel and Dave Toole.
We love Dan Ruppel. Yes.
Yeah. He's one of our heroes.
Yeah. I the first time I saw him at a CCA event, I was like starstruck, going, "Oh my gosh, you're Dan Ruppel!" So
I did the same thing. We brought him in the studio. And I knew who he was because I'd been listening to him for years. And I'm not a starstruck person, but I was so nervous. I didn't know what to say.
Yeah.
So Dan did all the talking, believe it or not.
Yeah. So I grew up listening to them. And then I think a lot of their influence was on me as a Bible teacher. So I work in children's ministry. I've been in children's ministry since I was a child. I never grew up. So big church scared me. I liked being with the kids more.
Yeah,
so,
I'm with you.
Anyway, so a lot of their influence was on storytelling and things like that. And when we moved to Nashville, my theme verse was "Be still and know," because it was the first time out of Texas and I had no idea what I was doing outside of Texas. And so I got my kids settled, my family settled. And then my husband looked at me and he said, "What is something you've always wanted to try?" And I said, "I've always wanted to try stand-up." And he said, go for it. So I went over to Zanies and took a class, which was Rick Roberts, which is the godfather of all comedians, I think.
Yeah.
And took his writing class, and then took his stand-up class, and then just started doing stuff. And really, I saw Bone at a coffee house, and he was the first one I heard that did church jokes. And I went, oh my gosh, I have a lot of experience with that, and I can tell some church jokes. So he kind of inspired me to write in that way. and just talk about growing up in the church and things like that. So he inspired me in that. And then we kind of started working together. So it's great.
And that's stuff that, especially the audience that you're going to be in front of a lot of times, they can relate to because they were in church and they got those looks from their mom and they know what happened at church. So,
and the children's ministry is where I kind of go with it because children are hilarious. I mean, they are just so much fun, and I love working with kids. And so they say some of the funniest things and they ask the best questions, you know, in church situations, and you have to just stay calm, you know, like one little girl asked me, like, when Moses crossed over the Red Sea and Pharaoh's army came out after him, when all the water came in, does that mean that the horses died too? Were they evil horses? I know horses have to die.
Well,
yes, the horses were evil. I don't know what to say. I mean, you just have to kind of go with it.
They hadn't accepted Jesus yet, so
exactly.
Yeah. Christy Conder, she is a comedian. All right, so you said your husband was behind this. Did he know what he was creating here, what he was unleashing?
Yes, and I think he had an ulterior motive, you know, to kind of help me write and just go to all these places and just follow me around and laugh and just have fun with it. So yeah, we're a fun family too. So it was kind of a family effort as well. My daughter's an actor, and so we're all kind of performers in our group anyway. And he's also a sound guy, so he was like, I can make you sound great. So.
I saw it.
I can make you sound really good.
I like that.
I saw one of your and check out her webpage and her Facebook as well. But there's some videos on her website. And there was a bit where her husband said, "You're more than a spleen to me," which I thought was very, very funny. So for my wife's birthday, I'm going to write that in her birthday card. You're more than a
worst country song ever.
Kind of set that up a bit, since it sounds bizarre for me to just say that.
I know that's
Yeah, I'm waiting for explanation here. So
paint that picture for Dan.
You know, we were watching something on TV and they talked about an athlete that had to have his spleen removed. And then they said, well, the spleen is useful but non-essential. And I said, that's what I feel like sometimes. as a wife and a mom, I feel like I'm useful but non-essential. And he just my husband looked over at me and said, baby, you're more than a spleen to me.
And that's what you needed to hear at that moment, isn't it?
That's the worst country song ever. That's worse than Achy Breaky Heart. That's, more than
a spleen to me.
That's funny. Well, just like Bone has the Muffin Don't Bite shirts, you need the more than a spleen.
Yeah.
I think your merch could be huge.
Yeah.
Well, I have another one it's the hip bump. And since we can't really shake hands at a time of COVID, and women don't have the kind of handshake that men do. You can do a lot of things with it. Men can do handshakes. And those are deals. Texas, if you shake with a hand, do a handshake deal, it's good as gold. I mean, you might as well, it's a contract.
Yeah.
But women don't have that. And so I decided we should hip bump. God gave us hips, honor the hip bump, and you return my casserole dish on time, hip bump.
Yeah.
That's good. So we need honor the hip bump.
Now, if they return it clean, do you get 2 hip bumps?
Yeah. I mean, that's even better. If you return it with something in it, then you can just have
hip
meals
all day long. Yeah.
Absolutely. It just goes on forever.
All right. So I didn't grow up in the church. All right. My wife did. So is this common thing, people to give back is it Pyrex dishes not clean and or with something in them?
Well, you always return them clean. But if you return it with something else in it, boy, you extra crown in heaven. That's that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Huge.
Christy Conder here, a comedian, friend of Bonehampton's, the O'Brien sisters, Rick Roberts, and a bunch of the other folks that we love, and probably Ken Kington. You know Ken Kington?
Oh yes, I know Ken Kington.
Yeah. Good guy.
I do. He's fabulous.
Let's talk a little bit about what's coming up for you. Are you breaking out into public places?
I am. I was in Indiana at Gutty's with Bone last month, and I'm going to be doing warm up with the Huckabee Show here in May.
Awesome!
Wow.
So yeah, that's exciting. So that's what's coming up. So and then my little TikTok series. So.
Yeah, tell us about the TikTok series.
Yeah.
You are obviously socially media savvy because you're on TikTok, and hopefully that doesn't scare your kids to death. But because
I got approval from 2 out of the 3, so
that's all you need. There you go. Tell us about your 60-second Sunday school.
Well, I was on TikTok and just recently was really convicted on, are we spreading the gospel?
Yeah.
Bottom line, are we spreading the gospel? So I thought, here's a little TikTok series, and I've been doing Sunday school again forever. And I thought, I have a lot of stories. I've written curriculum. I have a lot of things that are just fun, easy to understand, simple things for people to listen to. So I thought, I'm going to present the gospel on TikTok and do it in 60 seconds.
There you go.
So yeah, I've done just a bunch of different stories and just thoughts and studies on different words. And then I was really, really pleased that the one where I presented a very simple gospel message has had over 1,000 likes, or not 1,000 likes, 1,000 views for just starting. So I was pretty excited about that, and that the gospel spread. I mean, it's 60 seconds. You got, and the algorithms are such that if you've been searching on something, you can fall onto this one, and that's huge to me. So it's exciting.
So have you made one yet where there's drowning horses in the Red Sea?
Hey, you just gave her an idea.
There you go.
Don't be one of the horses.
Be horses. My other favorite was a kid that said, "Hey, Miss Christy, if David had seen Bathsheba in the shower, would she have been Shower Sheba?"
Yeah, boy.
Those will make kids
Okay.
think.
All right. That's a deep thinker right there. All right.
I don't know. That's a great question.
Christy Conder, comedian. We got to go to a break in a second. Christy, help an old guy here. How do we see it on TikTok? I get it now and then, but I don't know how I get it.
Yeah, you can kind of search 60 second. I think my title is 60 and then SEC and then SSW Miss Christy. I mean, you can start it.
Yeah.
I think 60 seconds will do enough, but that's a great question. I don't know.
Hey,
First, you got to download the app, and then go to TikTok.
Got to create a username, and you lost me. That's fine.
And then you start making your own videos, and you get lost in all of it, and start. Yeah.
Well, they can follow you on your Facebook pretty easy.
Yeah, I have a Christy Conder Facebook too.
Yeah.
And the website, ChristyConder.com.
And ChristyConder.com. And it's not an OR. We're not birds, so
Condor.
It's not Condor.
Thank you for telling me that, because now it's in my head. Next time you're on the show, I'll call you Christy Condor.
Christy Conder.
Yeah. Hey, check out the TikToks if you know how. If not, go to ChristyConder.com. And a very funny lady. Christy, thank you so much. We look forward to hanging with you again. Absolutely. And just love what you do. We'll be right back. I'm Rick Probst.
And I'm Dan Ratcliffe.
This is Faith Talk Live.